Boeing company revealed that Washington had granted it a license to market its newest heavy fighter, the F-15EX, in India. 7 of the world's premier fighter manufacturers already have indicated interest in competing for the Indian Air Force's ongoing acquisition of 114 medium fighters, a contract worth an estimated $20 to $30 billion. The American F-15EX fighter aircraft will compete against the French Rafale, Russian Su-35s, American Super Hornets and F-21s, and the Swedish Gripen. But offering the F-15EX would result in Boeing pulling out the Super Hornet from the contest. There is no way Boeing would field 2 fighters in the same competition. But the question is, why F-15EX? The F-15 Eagle entered U.S. Air Force service in its original form over 4 decades ago. Does India really need F-15EX in its arsenal? Twin-engine Rafale and Russia's twin-engine fighters MiG-35 and Sukhoi Su-35 appears to be the more capable aircraft based on an assessment of its capabilities. So, why US pushing India to buy this fighter plane? According to the report, United States has applied considerable political pressure against India in the past, including threats of economic sanctions on the country. 2 days ago, Donald L. Heflin, the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi said, Washington was urging all its allies and partners against buying defense equipment from Russia, as it risks triggering sanctions under the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, CAATSA. Heflin's comments came within days of the Biden administration taking office in Washington. Another reason is, last year, India signed a $2.43 billion deal with Russia for the acquisition of MiG-29s and Sukhoi Su-30MKIs. After India declared its intent to procure Russian fighter jets, a senior U.S. State Department official ominously announced that India was not safeguarded from penalties under CAATSA. Besides the French jets, American and Russian jets are head-to-head once again for the lucrative Indian defense tender. The 2 high-end heavyweight aircraft, F-15EX and Su-35, represent the modernization of the Cold War-era aircraft. So how does the Su-35 compete against the F-15EX fighter aircraft? Here, I'd like to compare the strengths and weaknesses of the 2 aircraft, and how those will inform their ability. F-15 fighter jet is the airplane that in many ways defined what a 4th-generation fighter can do. Introduced in the 1970s, it has been extensively updated to keep with the times, and hundreds will remain in service for decades to come. On the other hand, Su-35 is an upgraded version of Su-27 flanker, the Soviet-era counterpart to the F-15. Now sporting modernized avionics and munitions, fancy vector thrust engines, and a fresh coat of radar-absorbent paint are of much more important. So, how the 2 aircraft would fare in aerial clash? Regardless of their differences, the 2 aircraft were more or less closely matched. As a result, supporting assets and pilot skill are more likely to determine the outcomes of an engagement between the 2 rather than any technological gap. F-15 is an American twin-engine, all-weather tactical fighter aircraft designed by McDonnell Douglas, now part of Boeing. And the Sukhoi Su-35s are single-seat, twin-engine, supermaneuverable aircraft designed by the Sukhoi Design Bureau and built by the Komsomolshan, a Amur aircraft plant. Both the F-15 Eagle and the Su-35 are twin-engine designs capable of functioning at high altitudes, and both have the long ranges needed to penetrate enemy airspace and deliver a wide range of munitions for both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. The F-15 certainly does have the advantage of higher speed, as it can reach up to the speeds of Mach 2.5, while the Su-35 is restricted to speeds of around Mach 2.25. The Su-35 does benefit from a number of advantages, including beyond visual range engagements, including its radar cross-section reducing profile, which leaves its radar cross-section at under 1/3 that of the F-15. Whereas the Su-35 is a lot stealthier than the original Su-27, the F-15 has seen little change to its profile. Other advantages enjoyed by the Su-35 include its access to R-37M hypersonic air-to-air missiles, which have a long 400 km range, high maneuverability, a Mach 6 speed and very powerful sensors. And most importantly, the Su-35 appears to be the more capable aircraft. Based on an assessment of its capabilities, its main attraction to India, over the F-15, is likely to be its compatibility with existing jets in the Indian Air Force's fleet. American F-15s today rely on the aging Advanced Medium Range 120C, with a 105 km range, although the F-15EX could be marketed with the Advanced Medium Range 120D, with a longer 180 km range. These missiles have less than half the range of the R-37, and are much slower, with a speed of around Mach 4.5. The F-15's engine thrust is considerably lower than that of the Su-35, however, which if combined with such a heavy weapons payload, will seriously compromise maneuverability at all ranges and the fighter's ability to evade missile attacks. The Su-35 is closely related to the Su-30MKI, and the Indian Air Force already operates over 250 aircrafts. And interoperability will provide a significant advantage, which the F-15EX would lack in Indian fleet. The F-15EX's air-to-air missiles does suffer a quantitative disadvantage. Well, there are a lot more things to discuss about this two fighter jets, but the video will become long. So I will make another video, explaining the capabilities of all these aircraft, and which of these aircraft have the best chance to win the contract. So stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.